Bathos is basically when a serious tone is ruined by a joke, creating a comedic tone. It sucks because it makes it hard or impossible to take a moment seriously anymore, removing any emotional weight it may have had. In my first video on Shadow Realm, I made a mistake. I took it too easy on FMA because I didn't want to make it look bad. I was trying to hype up FMA to contrast it to Yomi's mediocrity. This time, I'm bringing my scalpel and everyone's getting cut. Hiromu Arakawa is horrendous at writing tone. I will show you in both FMA and Shadow Realm. Let's start with FMA. In Chapter 1, when Cornello gives an evil speech, it is undercut by a joke. While running from gunfire in Chapter 2, jokes. When Ed tricks Cornello into revealing his evil deeds, is executed as a punchline. Ed fails to get the stone that will solve his greatest problem. We should treat it as a joke. Defeating the first antagonist of the story, make it a joke. The climax of the arc in Chapter 3, let's make it silly. Ed versus the train robbers in Chapter 4 is also goofy. Ed shoots a cannonball and it's silly. In 6, Ed just lost to the state alchemist killer Scar. He's about to die, but in Chapter 7, Roy saves him. This is serious. You know what this needs? A joke involving the alchemist killer almost killing Mustang. Silly Roy, you almost died. Armstrong is having an epic introduction as a state alchemist by fighting Scar in a 1v1. I think this requires a joke about him ripping off his shirt. Al needs to teach Ed a lesson about sacrificing his life after they almost died. Let's make it funny. This is all in Chapter 7, by the way. Then we skip ahead because the author stopped committing these war crimes for a while. In Chapter 12, Ed's almost getting sliced up by Slicer. Throw in a quick joke so the serious tone doesn't set in. And while he's fighting for his life, cut to Al having a goofy fight against Barry. Dang, Barry just talked about being a serial killer and getting executed. Throw in a joke to lighten the mood. It'll make it harder to take this dude getting his face chopped seriously. Ed almost died to Slicer. He said it himself. Well, right after, we'll drop a little gag. A little something to feed the streets. In the next chapter, Envy and Lust kill the brothers that Ed was just bonding with, and they're about to fight Ed. Oof. How about making Ed fighting back and losing into a silly little kerfuffle? It's not like these are the main bad guys or anything. It's not like we need to fear them. Maria Ross wants to teach Ed a lesson? Let's learn from the Scar arc and make it slapstick again. Gotta reduce the emotional impact of the moment. You just got to. In 14, Al starts having this stupid arc about not trusting Ed, his brother. Dang, that's kind of heavy. You know how we should resolve it? With comedy. Everyone loves comedy, right? Okay, Yume, we get it. Move on. No, you will feel this bathos. In Chapter 18, a woman is going into labor and there's no doctor around. Let's put some gags so this isn't seen as a serious problem. Winry went through Ed's personal stuff in 19 and it's seen as a betrayal of trust. Lighten the mood with a gag. Izumi coughs up blood as a result of trying to revive her dead baby. Make it funny though. In 20, Ed looks serious while talking about his dream. Undercut it with a joke. Al fights Greed's henchman in 26. Slide in a joke. If you ain't laughing, you ain't living, am I right? In 27, start this fight with comedy. Izumi's in a fight? Make it funny. Gotta have humor. Do her blood gag again. She saves Al, but it's gotta be wacky. Change the art style for good measure. Ed comes to save Al in 28. Well, we gotta make it goofy too. What's that? Armstrong has another fight in 29. Throw in a gag again. In 33, Ed and Al get into another fight. Fight alliterates with funny, so it's gotta have gags. Ed almost dies from a bomb. Bomb alliterates with bathos. Make it funny. L'Enfant thinks she killed Ed. Let's make her act cute like she just made a little goof. Right after the fight, Ling has to make some jokes. Barry's rescue mission in 35 has to have some jokes too. Barry can only be a silly goose. In 37, add some jokes to the Barry fight. One with Havoc, one with Barry, and then when Mustang saves Hawkeye from getting killed, have a joke with Envy right after. The Xingyi's gotta get their bits in too. Remember what we learned about Al in the Scar arc? A character scolding another over a serious issue has to be done in a goofy fashion. Al, Maria, and Winry all did. It's tradition by now. So Hawkeye has to do it. It's not like she almost died or anything. Mustang and Havoc are in a life or death fight against Lust. You know what it needs? Jokes. Make them run for their lives in a funny fashion. Right after Ling vs Envy ends, slide in a little joke. Can't keep it serious for too long. That's where I'm stopping. I'm not saying that there aren't any serious moments in FMA that aren't undercut by gags. The Show Tucker scene is probably the first to be written in a completely serious tone. However, the amount of times a serious tone is ruined by a bit is criminal. I promise there isn't another popular battle manga that commits such atrocities. I'm not just looking at goofy moments, because there are way more of them. I'm looking at goofy moments placed before, during, or after a serious moment. I covered about 40 chapters, and nearly every arc had at least one bathos moment. I don't know if the anime increases or decreases the jokes. Scenes and moments that are supposed to pack emotional weight are obliterated by Arakawa's inability to stay serious or let the audience sit with a powerful moment. If the story wasn't so strong in other areas, these crimes against writing would make it worthy of dropping. Before there was MCU humor, there was FMA humor. This bathos is straight criminal. I also didn't mention how unfunny the comedy is. It's subjective, but it definitely hurts the story when they crack jokes like they're on crack and I'm barely laughing or just cringing. Alchemist is pretty bad with tone, but at least there's only one problem. Jokes undercutting a serious moment. Shadow Realm does this and more. The tone writing somehow gets worse. Let's do the same chapter by chapter breakdown. In chapter 1, when the main character has his home raided, right after we see someone dying, we have a comedic action complete with a silly art style. Even FMA didn't commit crimes on tone this early. When one of the villains first appears, she looks goofy right before brutally murdering someone. She continues to look silly as she slaughters these people. When one of the villains almost takes a grenade to the face, the panel is silly. I get it, it's a callback to Ed vs. Lanfon. Hee hee. Yuru, the hero, thinks that his sister just died. That's heavy. Throw in a joke on the very next page. Yuru first summons his spirits. Gotta put in a joke with the annoying girl. That's all in chapter 1. Yuru meets the person who just slaughtered people. Make it funny. Uh-oh, Yuru looks serious. He wants to avenge his family. Cool, but make parts of the fight look funny. Throw in some jokes with all the dead bodies around. One of the tsugais fights one of the intruders. End it in a funny way. I get the reference. Al ran in the greed arc, and Roy ran in the lust arc. Running away is funny. I get it now. In chapter 3, this dude just seemingly murdered a dude for stalking and is treated as a joke. Isn't murder just hilarious? Even FMA never stooped this low. In chapter 4, we get to see the antagonist who just slaughtered the village. You know what's the best way to make the audience fear the antagonists? With goofy art. Make the master look silly and harmless. Make the annoying killer look silly. Throw in some more gags with the antagonist family. Just make them all a jolly old family. Oh, that's right, they did massacre a bunch of people. Yuru still remembers that, doesn't he? That's why he's so serious when he meets them. Yikes. Quick, lighten the mood by cutting to a gag in chapter 5. Yuru is still serious, so the other characters gotta put the comedy on their back. Can't have it feeling like they're in any danger. Dang, they pulled out blickies? Add some humor. I got it. What if the tsugai loses to a little goofy looking rabbit? The kids will love this. And then, the other will lose to a goofy looking turtle. And there'll be a bit. Dang, Yuru's still serious about his family getting slaughtered? Lighten up, will ya? Get a load of this guy. Make Yuru being freed look goofy. For a moment, the fight gets serious. Too serious. Drop another joke. Man, Yuru's still serious? End the scene with another gag. More mayhem with the murderers. You know, it's insane that this is the same writer who made the story where the main character was so against killing that he wouldn't use the Philosopher's Stone to restore his own body, despite it being his biggest goal. He didn't even kill anyone, but just because the stone was made from murder, he wouldn't use it. Now in Shadow Realm, we got characters that kill with no hesitation. We treat murder like it's funny, and we give these murderers a lot of gags. As bad as the jokes were in FMA, Scar himself was never involved in comedy. Neither was Father. They had the gravity that a mass murderer would have. But here, we got Comedy Club with killers. Continuing on, Yuru and Asa have their first peaceful meeting. Don't make it emotional, make it funny. Is that a fight in chapter 7? You know we gotta throw in a joke. Make the annoying girls fight a joke, and then make her kill them. The sister's having a panic attack, gotta undercut it with a gag. The fight just ended. Quickly, do something funny. Let's kill more people. Ooh, headshot. That's a little too serious. In chapter 8, another member of the family kills someone. Will they address this? They captured one of the enemies who just tried to kill them, but it needs jokes. Wait, they actually addressed the killing. You wanna guess how? I'll give you a second. Think about it. With comedy. He accidentally killed their leader. Oopsie daisy. The annoying girl really treats Tsugai right seriously. Too bad she doesn't treat human life the same way. Let's undercut it with a joke where he pees himself. Hilarious, right? Hey, even Tsugai have hearts. So do humans, but I mean, we don't have a problem with slaughtering them, right? We even made jokes about it. The moral grandstanding in this means nothing. So these pages seem to suggest that killing is fine as long as the person tried to kill you first. Interesting. We are 8 chapters in, and I've already complained about this as much as I did in FMA's 40 chapters. But will I stop? No. In chapter 10, a character scolds another, so it's gotta be funny. A sibling calling the other sibling an idiot. I get the reference, just like Scar. End the scene with some humor. What's that? An emotional scene in chapter 11? Can't linger on that. Throw in a joke for me. Let's have some jokes between the almost killer and her almost victim. Is that a dead body in chapter 12? Put a joke on the next page. And then violently kill the guy on the next page. That'll be funny. The fans will love that. Tonal whiplash. And then violently kill another dude. These long-limbed tsugais are just brutally murdering people. You know what chapter 13 needs? Comedy. What type of comedy? Running away comedy. An Arakawa signature. We can't have the audience sitting in the serious tone, absorbing the gravity of the scene, put in another joke of the gunman almost dying, and then do a goofy headbutt. Yuru's threatening an old woman, so it's gotta be funny. Throw in some more gags during the break against the long limbs. Maybe they'll forget how dangerous he was. The fight continues, so we need more comedy. Uh-oh, a decaying body. That was too serious. Violent headshots? Man, chill out. The old lady's about to die? We gotta bring back the humor. Wow, she's really about to die. In chapter 14, the main character starts fighting, but we need some silly art. Goofy running away again. Can't get enough of that. Then the fight ends. So you know what we gotta do? You know what we gotta do. Comedy. The owner of the tsugais is a goofy little boy. That's 14 chapters, and there is as much bathos as Fullmetal Alchemist, 40 chapters. The tone management got so much worse. It's not just bathos anymore. Killing is treated as a joke. Villains are treated as a joke. Trauma is skimmed over. Emotional moments are undercut. I don't know if FMA's writing quality could survive these crimes against tone. But what makes it worse is that Shadow Realm isn't half the story that FMA is. FMA is still good because its good writing provides a cushion for the bathos. Shadow Realm has worse bathos, and it doesn't have any cushioning to protect it. I can cover that in another video. A potential counter-argument is something like, One Punch Man does it too. One Punch Man is a comedy first. It's supposed to be funny. The primary goal of the story is to make the audience laugh. You can see it in the way the story is engineered from the first chapter. Almost every arc builds up to punchlines. When Genos, the serious guy, fights Mosquito Girl or Kabuto, there's no comedy. It's taken seriously. But then when Saitama, the funny guy, swaps in, it's funny. The understanding of when to turn the jokes on and off is indicative of a writer that knows how to write comedy. Arakawa doesn't have that. Furthermore, OPM is better than Arakawa at writing serious emotional moments when it wants to. Scenes like Moomin Rider vs. the Deep Sea King still pack a punch. FMA and Shadow Realm are definitely not comedies. They just have a lot of comedy interrupting the story. On top of all of that, OPM is subjectively hilarious to me, which helps the intentional humor. In conclusion, Hiromu Do Something Funny Arakawa is really bad at managing tone in FMA and even worse in Shadow Realm. She's tone deaf. Not like she can't hear tones or she's insensitive. She doesn't understand writing tone, so she's deaf to it, like music. It's a pun. Oh, you didn't find that funny? Now you know how I feel reading her works. The bathos problem can overshadow any good writing quality if done in abundance. I was going to wait until season 1 ended to make this video, but I saw the views on my first video spiking and the comments flooding, so I decided to do it early. When the season finishes, I'll come back for round 2, and I'll elaborate on the other areas where Shadow Realm is completely inferior to FMA. They shouldn't even be in the same sentence. Add another joke. Arakawa, an important character just died. Add another joke. This is supposed to be a serious fight. Add another joke. We already have 5 gags. It's killing the tone. Add another joke.